welcome to Kota Now with the 6 at 6. I'm Diana Cohen, and I will be your host today. The top 6 stories of the week, we start off with marijuana reclassification. The Department of Justice is proposing to reclassify marijuana from a Schedule 1 of the Controlled Substances Act to a Schedule 3 drug of the CSA. According to the DEA, marijuana has a lower probability of addiction, which is why it should not be classified with LSD and heroin. There are 5 schedules or categories of drugs. Schedule 1 drugs are defined as drugs with no currently accepted medical use and with high potential for abuse. Some examples of Schedule 1 drugs include heroin, LSD, MDMA, and currently marijuana. Schedule 2 drugs are defined as having a high potential for abuse, which may lead to severe psychological or physical symptoms. Some examples of Schedule 2 drugs include fentanyl and methamphetamine. Schedule 3 drugs are defined as drugs with moderate to low potential for physical or psychological benefits. Some examples of Schedule 3 drugs include ketamine, testosterone, and Tylenol with codeine. Schedule 4 drugs are defined as drugs with a low potential for abuse and low risk of dependence. Some examples of Schedule 4 drugs include Xanax, Valium, and Ambien. Schedule 5 drugs are defined as drugs with lower potential for abuse and consistent preparation containing limited quantities of certain narcotics. Schedule 5 drugs are generally used for antidiarrheal, vasopressors, and pain relievers. In 2022, Biden began the process of reviewing how marijuana is scheduled under federal law. If marijuana is reassigned to a lower scheduled drug, such as the proposal of it being reassigned to a Schedule 3 drug, researchers expect that the non-user will have more access to funding and medicines, as Schedule 1 and Schedule 2 drugs are more strictly regulated. Adrian Carbajal spoke with Nevada Ellison, co-owner of Black Hills Cannabis Care, about the impact and safety of marijuana on drug use.
4 years ago, recreational marijuana legislation was passed with a 54% vote, only to be shot down by Governor Kristi Noem's administration. Since then, advocates for recreational legalization have fought to get it back on the ballot and are optimistic about its chances in 2024.
So we're pretty confident that the voter turnout, the sentiment on cannabis is changing over the last 20 years, and we feel we have a pretty solid chance at passing it this time around.
Ellison says the main reason people's views are changing on medicinal and recreational marijuana is the extensive research done showing the drug has a low probability of addiction, according to the DEA.
I feel like the sentiment on cannabis is changing. People are starting to realize that it is potentially a safer alternative to alcohol, for instance.
Despite being a less addicting drug, Ellison wants people to know that passing legislation this November is not about making money for his company, but about keeping consumers safe.
Right now they're getting it primarily off the street or from CBD companies who are selling it, and it's an unsafe product. A lot of it filled with mold, heavy metals, and bacteria. So for me, I feel like it's a smart move to regulate it, to tax it. Let's use this tax money and educate kids that all drugs are bad for you while your brain's developing.
Ellison added he is not advocating for everyone to go out and try cannabis, but feels it's important for those who are consuming it to get the safest product possible, which will come if legislation is passed and the industry is regulated. Reporting in Rapid City, I'm Adrian Carbajal.
Thank you to Adrian Carbajal. A quote found on the DEA's website from DEA Administrator Ann Milgram states the shift from plant-based drugs like heroin and cocaine to synthetic chemical-based drugs like fentanyl and methamphetamine has resulted in the most dangerous and deadly drug crisis the United States has ever faced. The CDC states that 107,941 American deaths in 2022 were drug-related. Fentanyl, categorized as a Schedule 2 drug, and other synthetic opioids are responsible for approximately 70% of lives lost, while methamphetamine, also categorized as a Schedule 2 drug, and other synthetic stimulants are responsible for approximately 30% of deaths. This is what Ellison had to say about the rescheduling of marijuana.
When you misclassify something and you go into your college age and you think it's classified with meth and heroin and opioids and all these things, and then they try it and they say, oh, that's what coke is like, that's what meth is like, that's what heroin is like, and it's the misclassification, I think, is the biggest gateway drug.
In 2022, our team at Kota documented a virtual press conference held by Yes on 27 campaign manager Matthew Sweich and 4 members of law enforcement and Veterans Coalition discussing why IM27 was important. IM27 was a marijuana legalization initiative on the ballot in South Dakota in November 2022. In support of the legalization of marijuana, armed veteran and retired Dallas police officer Rosanna Renaud says, "During my years as a police officer, I had a street-level view of drug abuse. I saw meth, heroin, and cocaine that put people in the morgue, but never marijuana." Renaud goes on to say that the current severity of focus on marijuana crimes is a distraction for police and a waste of time and resources that could be spent fighting the real threat. Bill Stalker, a retired U.S. Marine and retired Sioux Falls police officer, added that he has maintained close ties with police in Sioux Falls, and they have told him the same thing. In opposition of the legalization, Jim Kenyon with Protecting South Dakota Kids says, "They would like to pretend that they are going to regulate marijuana and make it safe. And I would just point to the fact that in all of the states that have endorsed recreational marijuana, violent crime escalates, and the cartels follow legalization." Now, the next story we're talking about is the AMA Pro Racing revote. After months of deliberation and confusion, the Sturgis Flat Track race is set to run as planned on the final day of the rally. After the 2022 Sturgis Rally, the American Motorcyclist Association, or AMA, had racing professionals ride the streets to consider racing routes, attempting to bring in a younger crowd to the Sturgis Rally. AMA proposed a plan of a half-mile track and a 5-year obligation if the proposal was accepted. The financial aspect of this original proposal would have cost taxpayers of Sturgis $650,000, as well as splitting the losses if the first year of the race fell short of the expenses for it. Sturgis residents said the decision to spend the money was never talked about within the community, and in April, the AMA Pro Racing Flat Track race proposal was rejected by Sturgis residents. AMA came back with a new proposal to the city of Sturgis, shortening this track from half a mile to a quarter mile, and rather than a 5-year obligation, they are proposing a 2-year obligation with the possibility to renew it for 3 additional years. This time adjustment on the proposal gives the city a sooner time to opt out, while still having the option to continue the race for the originally specified time. Deb Holland, the Director of Communications for the City of Sturgis, says this about the proposal change.
So AMA said, okay, let's make it a co-host agreement, and we will shoulder the cost for this race. So it's not going to cost citizens, taxpayers of Sturgis, the $650,000. Well, that was more palatable.
This new proposal now includes that all of the expenses will be covered by sponsorships, and if the event does not generate profit and results in a deficit for Sturgis in the 2024 event, David McGrath, the technical director of AMA, says they will use committed sponsorship for the 2025 event to cover the costs. A recent city council meeting voted a unanimous 7-0 vote to move forward with this plan, and the race is set for August 11th in Sturgis and broadcasted on Fox Sports 1 the weekend after the rally. According to the CEO of AMA Pro Racing, Gene Crouch, the event will include a series of flat track races on the streets of downtown with the top professional motorcycle racers in the world. This will be AMA's first broadcast on Fox. Residents have voiced their concerns with safety and accessibility to businesses along the course, as parking will be less available. Some revenue will be given to the city of Sturgis, and Crouch mentions that the races will expose large sponsors to future business opportunities in the Black Hills. The next story we're talking about today is Family Food Truck Night. Family Food Truck Night is back at Canyon Lake Park. What started as a 5-food truck event in 2017 now is more than 30 food trucks for this season's lineup. Jesse Lee, the creator of the idea, says this.
All of the other food trucks as well, we can help them grow too, because I had that help. Everybody needs help, everybody needs the help along the way. We had the help along the way, and so that's what I'm trying to do for everybody else, is just get their name out there, help them grow.
He adds that he chose Tuesday for Food Truck Night because the weekends are always the day for outings. He wanted to provide the community with a break in their work week and get out to have some fun. Family Food Truck Night carries a wide variety of food so no one goes hungry, and it will run every Tuesday at Canyon Lake Park from 5 to 8 p.m. until September 24th. Every year, the Rapid City Public Library makes an appearance, but this year, they're bringing a truck of their own. The Rapid City Bookmobile will also be at Family Food Truck Night, every Tuesday giving children the chance to read and check out books while enjoying some food at Canyon Lake Park. You can find a list of our lineups on our Kota Territory website. Continuing with the theme of public libraries, the Sturgis Public Library is starting a program this summer to promote lifelong reading habits to prevent the summer slide. The summer slide is described as a period when kids are out of school and lose reading proficiency. The Sturgis Public Library is holding 48 events, including a challenge to read over 1,000 minutes and families going on nature scavenger hunts in Woodland Park. This program will run from June 2nd through July 26th. Sturgis Public Library Program Coordinator Sierra Fraser-Riggs says this.
Those kids every day, or every other day or once a week when they can make it to the library, and encouraging those reading habits by picking out some of their favorite books or showing them new books that I've gotten in the library. It's a lot of fun.
People flocked to Mount Rushmore earlier this week to see with their own eyes if Mount Rushmore really was blindfolded. A promotional video for the game Call of Duty Black Ops 6, set to be released later this year, showcased a vandalized Mount Rushmore through the real Mount Rushmore, though the real Mount Rushmore was not actually vandalized. Tyler Ball, the Activision Senior Vice President and Head of Marketing, said his team developed the video to fit the themes of government spying and conspiracy explored in the Black Ops games.
We were out in Rapid City and we went up to Rushmore. We did everything on the up and up. We worked with the Parks Department to get a license, and then we actually worked with some rock climbers or mountain climbers to kind of help stage all of the asset.
And breaking news this morning, 2 people sustained minor injuries after a car crashed into the Perkins restaurant and bakery on La Crosse Street this morning. Intoxication has been ruled out, but the cause is still unknown. We will have updates as they become available on our website and our broadcasts. All of the stories for these 6 at 6 are provided in the description below. And you can find out more and read more and get further information on all of this information. Have a wonderful night, and thank you for joining us for Kota Now 6 at 6.